Alexander Freeman, a local real estate broker here in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's tax season. Today, we're talking real estate and taxes, and I got a special guest with me, Mark with Jackson Hewitt. Mark is here to break down some of the most important tax tips homeowners, real estate investors, and even fellow realtors. What's your first-time home buyers know about tax benefits?
Well, the first thing you need to know is your taxes are not going to be the same. You won't be doing them on your smartphone on the ride into work. If you own a home, odds are you're going to have a more complicated, but also a more beneficial tax return. As I say, you get mortgage interest as a starter set, and then you add on to that property taxes, sales taxes, state income taxes, and the list goes on and on. You have to keep up with those so you get a much bigger deduction, much lower taxes, and a much bigger refund. And it all starts with home ownership.
What would you say the best way to plan for taxes if you're looking to buy or sell a home this year? Or listen, kind of so.
You don't need a complicated plan, but you do need to have a plan. And that's with everything. Getting married is no different than buying a home when it comes to taxes. Things are one day this way, much different than next. So what I like to tell people is you don't have to over-engineer it, but run a pro forma tax return. You were here last year with you, and maybe if you have a significant other. Now we add in a home. You can estimate pretty much how much your mortgage interest is going to be, what your charitable donations are, state income taxes, property taxes. Add all that up, compare it to last year's number, which was the standard deduction, and do a rudimentary calculation of your income. Odds are your income, taxable income, will go down, as will your taxes. So before you buy a house, see how that will impact your taxes. You might be pleasantly surprised that big home ownership burden is not going to be as big as you might think. You may have a tax dividend on the back end. They'll pay for some of that.
Great advice. Now, what about tax incentives? Are there any tax incentives available for homeowners who install solar panels?
Well, solar panels, yes, and even alternative fuel energy conservation home improvements are big. So also we say this, if you're doing home improvements to your house, whether it's insulation, windows, doors, air conditioning, water heaters, what have you, you need to talk to your tax pro and find out what that might mean. So if you're about to make an investment, or if you've already made an investment, you certainly want to talk with a pro and find out, yes, you do get this, it may help offset some of the costs, or no, they kind of sold you on a bit bigger promise than exists, and unfortunately that's the case. But make no mistake, you've got alternative fuel investments in your home. Solar panels is one, but there's a whole list of them out there. You need to talk to a pro and find out what tax incentives you might qualify for and what you need to do and what you need to keep.
So if a homeowner sells their property after installing solar panels, they need that credit that they got?
Well, they don't lose it, but there might be some recash, and there's a whole host of other considerations, not just on that, but on a lot of different things that you do to your home, including the gain on the sale of the home, which may or may not be taxable, again, depending on how long you live there, how much money you make, and a bunch of other considerations. So when you buy a home, that's a big plus in terms of your tax benefit.
So let's say that you end up putting solar panels on your home and then you end up please sell that. Does the new buyer get to take advantage of any tax credits when it comes to those solar panels?
No, they do not qualify. Only the owner that puts them in, gets the solar panel credit.
Perfect. Now, that was just some great information, Mark. I appreciate your time with us today. If you have additional questions, drop them in the comments below, hit that like button, and share with a friend.